This month's featured commission is by Ina Anasuki. She's a really, really great friend of mine. I do recommend you give her a check out if you are 18 plus. The character that she had done for me was my character Bodhi. There'll probably be more on Bodhi's character in a future episode of this series, but for now, I'll just tell you that she is a alternate universe version of my main character Buster. He touched Lavernia. Lorshog will make him pay. The first episode of Lore Bard Libraries. Today we're going to be covering my D&D character, Lorzug the Brute. I was going to be covering somebody else, but until I can find out some more things I can do for her, I'm just going to do Lorzug, maybe a couple other male characters who are minor, kind of like D&D characters sort of things. So I'll start us off with Lorzug. He's about 6 foot tall. Sorry if you can't see the writing really well. I didn't know how big to make it. This is my first episode of the series. I probably should have done better planning for it, and that's on me. I'm sorry. But 6 foot tall. He's high in strength and constitution, but his intelligence is extremely low. Which is actually a fun fact about this. I purposefully built a Volo's Guide to Monsters variant, which takes a +2 to strength, a +2 to constitution, and a -2 to intelligence. And I had asked my DM, can I have a 6 intelligence score? That way he can drop down to a 4 intelligence. And he allowed it. So quite literally, I'm running around with a 4 intelligence orc, about as smart as I am, probably. He is a barbarian, totem of the bear. So then, again, I'm sorry if you can't see this. I will work on finding a better font or a better text size, better size of writing these out. You can tell by how ugly this handwriting is, that it is all handwritten. I probably will give you like a big overview of the board and like screenshots probably towards the end of the video if you do want to see them up close. But again, I'm sorry, it's more fault on me than anything, and I might just find a better setup for this whole thing too. As we said before, his name is Lorzug the Brute. The reason why is I kind of searched up a orc name generator, and it gave me Lorzug the Brute, and I'm like, this name sounds fucking perfect for this guy. He is the Volivarian Dork, as we said before, because like I said, I wanted to have a low intelligence character, because I cannot take a lot of my characters seriously. It's just a whole thing where I have to like have comic relief in some way, shape, or form. He's age 33, so he's a little bit close to middle age when it comes to orcs, because according to Volos, they reach adulthood in 12 and they live to be about 50. But of course, in orc lore, they normally don't live that long anyway because of the curse from the elf goddess. I believe that's also why orcs and elves are not compatible. D&D lore. Some key features. So this right here is Lorzug's Great Axe. The axe actually has a name, and his name is Lavernia, or Lavernia, as I call her. The name does kind of come from Malcolm in the Middle because it was one of my favorite shows growing up. I watched it at least 8 times out of order, and I've actually once sat down and watched every episode in chronological order because Netflix had it at one point. But the axe is actually in lore for Lorzug, named after his great grandmother, because it was his tribe of orcs tradition is to take a weapon, a great weapon, and name it after the male's wife, and then that male will pass down the weapon throughout all of its generations until it just gets destroyed. And when a new generation of orc is brought in, they will take a hand weapon and name it after their woman and pass it on to their child to go through generations until it's destroyed and cycle repeats. So Lavernia is his grandmother's name, and he cherishes this fucking thing like it's gold because it means that much to him for being in his bloodline for so long. He also does have 2 hand axes, as we see here. He mostly just uses them for throwing, and he also has 5 javelins, but Hero Forge doesn't let me put all 5 javelins in both hand axes. So I just put his hand axes and Lavernia into his Hero Forge model. Yeah, I had to do the Hero Forge model thing because I do not own any fan art or commissions for Lorzug. because I just haven't got around to buying any. I've been too busy worrying about, Buster and all them, and even, being sucker for fucking Strawberry Bunnies adopts because they are adorable as hell. So there's a possibility that Lorzug is a father, because there was a half orc in his village who was named Golda. The reason why she's called Golda is because she is known to be having a heart of gold, and it's also Yiddish for golden woman. I figured it would best be fit because, if she's super cool and chill and like one of the most nicest people ever, she's gonna have a heart of gold in some way, right? Yeah, and it's over here like Golda. It's like there's a possibility that he's the dad because him and Gold, like it's a tradition in their village that the orcs love to like train and fight with each other. And Golda taught Lord's like a couple of different fighting moves he's never learned from anywhere else before. You can probably see where that's coming from. Um, he's currently residing in the Icewind Dale because this is actually the campaign he comes from is Rime of the Frostmaiden. Yeah, the Icewind Dale of Rime of the Frostmaiden. I was gonna put down his secret, but I don't know if any of I think a couple of my friends do kind of watch these videos, and I wasn't supposed to give away that kind of secret yet. We might have already given them away in an earlier episode or an earlier campaign, but just to be on the safe side, I'm not gonna give away that information here. But I will say it does involve the cold not affecting him that much. I just won't say how. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the first episode of Lore Bard Libraries. I promise next time I'll try to pick something a little bit more interesting, as opposed to my lame old fucking orc D&D character. But I do appreciate you guys watching, and I can't wait to keep making more for you guys. See you.